What's up, everybody? Sorry about last week. It was crazy here. Like, I had tons of stuff going on with work and personal crap and threw my back out. Yeah, it was fun. How many of you guys caught the Halloween stream where we showed off some pretty awesome prints from people? I was actually genuinely impressed with what we got. I definitely want to do some more contests. What do you guys think? We got Christmas coming up. You guys think we should do a Christmas contest where you can show off your best Christmas prints? Yeah, let me know. I do have a couple of updates here. So we are right now actively working on the Marlin 2.1.1 update, which will bring a lot of new features, and then it'll allow us to update to Marlin 2.1.2, which is going to bring, according to the release notes I've been saying, it's going to be bringing input shaping to Marlin. So no more in order to print faster right now, if you want to use something like input shaping, Clipper's basically your only option, but Marlin's going to be able to do it on the control board. No Raspberry Pis needed, no third-party computers. You just hook up your accelerometer to the actual board and then calibrate it, and boom, you've got fast prints. So Clipper, better watch out. Marlin's hot on your heels, and we're going to be doing it with less hardware and less cost. So, and a lot of people that have boards like our EasyBoard V1, our EasyBoard V2, boards that have these powerful processors on them with a ton of memory, you guys will be able to run these on the boards you already have in your printers. So I'm very excited about that. So once we actually get that tested and I make sure that it works myself and get things documented, you can expect to see some videos about how to use the Marlin input shaping once we get it out in our firmware, and how to use it on like our EasyBoard V1 and our V2. So in terms of other boards, it basically looks like the 8-bit boards you guys are going to have to upgrade. Those boards are already maxed out, so if you're on an old 8-bit processor, now's going to be the time to upgrade if you want to go to the newer version of Marlin with all these new fancy features. I'm willing to bet, I haven't done any test compiles, but I'm willing to bet that we'll probably see some issues on 256K processors. So a lot of these chips that are coming on the stock Creality boards, possibly even issues with the clone processors, or you guys with the Big Tree Tech boards that have the 256K CPUs, you guys might be out of luck. I'm going to assume so just based on the compile sizes of current builds, seeing that they're pushing the 256K processors pretty full. This input shaping will require more memory. So, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking tomorrow I want to do a kind of impromptu stream. I would do it tonight, but I already have plans with the guys. We're going to be playing some 7 Days to Die. We got a Undead Legacy server set up, so got plans tonight. Taking some personal time. And I'm thinking tomorrow, though, I'd like to get the Ender 7 done. I got the Tiny Machines upgrade kit for the Z-axis. Want to get the Easy ABL Micro installed on here, and then get this put into my little personal fleet of machines. So, yeah, if you guys are new here, we're going to go ahead and do a Q&A. We do these, or try to do these, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time. If you guys want to get email notifications before we go live, we do have a dedicated email list that's just for our YouTube live stream. So meaning you'll actually get an email 30 minutes before the stream goes live, reminding you that, hey, there's a stream going, because we all know YouTube notifications are garbage. And there's a link on the very bottom of our website. If you go to our website, th3dstudio.com, you can get, there's a link that says, I think it's like join email list, and then you can subscribe to everything or just the YouTube notifications. I think we have a dedicated YouTube notifications link. I think it's under community. Yeah. So at the very bottom, you can go to community links and get YouTube notifications right here. And you just put in your email, and that's it. So that's only for YouTube updates. If you want to see all the different mailing lists we have, you can click join our email list, and this is everything but YouTube updates. If you want to get just firmware update emails, we do use this frequently when we do major updates. So when we're done with this major update, we'll send out an email about that. Incremental updates we don't usually send out emails about, but we do post about them. Product announcements, so we have everything segmented, so you can choose what you want to get. But yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else. I think I covered most of the stuff. Oh, I did have, how many of you guys watched the video I did with the rack mount of my modem. How many people watched that? I'm gonna see if because I have another thing here, and I want to see if I can show you this, another practical print. And my Droid Cam is working, so I'll be able to. I'm gonna walk over into the garage here for a sec, because I got another practical print. So let me switch over here. Check. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my main mic. All right, so we're gonna be using the mic here, but I want to show you guys this because I'm printing a bunch of them right here. You can see there's more going right here on my Ziltech gear. And what these are going to be, I printed one, so hopefully my Wi-Fi will cooperate with me. Oh no, why is my phone turning off? No, camera, stay on. So I have here, this is my little workbench. They're little M18 pegboard holders. So as you can see, I have batteries scattered everywhere. And these will allow me to take the battery and just put it on the pegboard like this. And it just pokes through the back there. And so I'm going to print a bunch of these so I can have all my batteries on the pegboard here. It'll fit the little ones, the big ones. This is my medium. I think the high output. This is the biggest one I have. This is a 12. Fits just fine on there. You can see that. And it's really easy to take them on and off. And even the little guys fit. They all fit. Look at that. So I can have all my batteries lined up for my tools here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, because this is not conducive because there's too many. I have too many damn batteries. So, and then if you guys are wondering why there's TP-Link boxes, I tried these out to get internet to my neighbor's house here, and these are going back. They're not very great. Emerson recommended them. They were cool at first, but they were too inconsistent. But you get what you pay for. These are like 40 bucks a piece, 80 bucks for the pair. But yeah, anyways, this is my latest practical print. Just did it really quick and super nice. Just put it up there so I can have all my batteries lined up here to look all nice. I think I'm going to print some tool holders too because I've got, just everything's just kind of down here. At least for like the smaller tools, like the impact and the 1/4-inch impact. I got I think it's my hammer drill there. Just have them all up here. So I have all the batteries on this side and the tools on this side. So there we go. That's one of my practical prints. You see, I'm making progress with the garage. I should have this all cleaned up. But basically, this whole area is going to be open so we can actually do projects and even shoot some videos in here. So, yep. And there's a plant. So this is a plant that has to be inside when it's cold out. I think it's a hibiscus plant. I don't know. Krista put it in here. And then I'm going to be doing some more stuff with the laser. I've got all sorts of upgrades for it. This is a motorized Z-table, air pump, all sorts of new lenses. So there'll be some CO2 laser stuff coming to this. And I'm going to be upgrading this, getting rid of this digital panel stuff. So how many of you guys have CO2 lasers? This is just a little K40 that I have here. And then the obligatory AVE warning sticker. I love his stickers. So anyways, let's go back. Whoa. And we'll switch back over to the normal one. All right. That Droid Cam looks awesome. Thanks, Mr. Waffle, Top Hat Waffle, aka my brother Doug. Thanks for the recommendation on that app. It's freaking awesome. All right. Let's get into it. Hopefully you guys have been asking questions while I've been chatting. I do have one last thing I want to do, which is pull the winner for last month's giveaway. So we do a giveaway every single month. So basically, if you go to giveaway.th3dstudio.com, you can go to the form. If you guys are seeing the old form, clear your browser cache. It does sometimes cache it. I'm checking if mine is cached on my end. I don't believe it is. Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting the November 2022 one. So, all right. Let's see what people are chatting about in here. I did something similar to that. I have something similar to that from my Milwaukee pack-out box. Yeah, I don't really take my tools anywhere because I'm not like a contractor. I use them here. So, but those pack out boxes are freaking nice. I have seen them, but I can't justify them since I don't take them out of here that often. So, but yeah, I'm in the process of organizing the tools, and hey, if I can print stuff, it's awesome. So, all right, let's see what questions we got here. Freaking Tor is always first. How many guys tried our new chat system? Did you guys notice we had a new chat system? Because we do. We have a new chat system. It's a little bit faster. It's better for us on the back end. It is a little more expensive, but you know, you get what you pay for. So, all right. Yeah, the K40 will not cut aluminum. So, no audio. What do you mean I have no? I see my levels right here. Don't troll me. My mic is unmuted and I can see it on my levels here. All right, so let's pull the winner for last month. Let's see who's gonna win this. All right, ready? And I have a lovely hard root beer. All right, who's gonna win? Bob Kittleson. All right, Bob Kittleson, you are the winner of the $100 gift card for last month. So every month we give away a $100 gift card to the shop, and all you have to do is put in your name, your email, and answer a question or two. I think last month's question, what was last month's question? I'm looking at my table here. Oh, here. I said our last month's question was, are you into home automation? If so, tell us what you have and what you'd like to do. And we got a lot of good information here. So, you know, that's the only thing you have to give us is give us some information. You know, but we're not like Facebook or any of these companies where we're going to sell your information. I'm just curious myself. It helps give us new product ideas, you know, things to carry and, you know, videos to make based on your guys' input. So that's why we ask questions. So I'm going to make a note here that Bob Kittleson was the winner, so I can send him his gift card after the stream. How's that? All right. So our first question is, from Tor, what kind of, here's the thing, this is weird. Every time someone types what in the chat, it like converts it to this like string. I don't know if it's like because it's a username. But anyways, what kind of features from 2.1.x are you looking at? I'm assuming with Marlin. So according, I went through the release notes between 209.3, which is what we're on now for our firmware, in 2.1.1. It looks like they might have gotten Linear Advance working on some of the Creality boards, or not Creality boards, but boards where the TMC drivers are in standalone mode. So like your Ender 6, your Ender 3 V2. Currently, they do not work correctly with Linear Advance on the older versions of Marlin, and this was supposedly due to a hardware limitation, but it looks like they might have been able to work around in the software, so that's something we're going to test. I think that'll be cool for people that want to try that out. So that's going to be on our testing roadmap. The other thing, too, I'm really excited about the input shaping, to play with that, get some videos going on that, and rolling out, you know, an update that's going to bring more features to people who, you know, have our easy boards that'll be able to run these new features, because, you know, we went overkill on the processors. So, but yeah, no, I mean, and then just general bug fixes. From what I was reading, it seems like the motion control system has been completely overhauled in the new version. That's one of the reasons why we test, especially with major releases, because things can break. So we got to figure out what that means in terms of reliability and stability. So we do actually test all our releases before we send them out. You know, we don't BTT it and just send it out to you guys, and you guys are the testers without being aware that you're testers. So. All right, so that's on my top, like, top question, or top, not questions, but like focuses and things I'm excited about with the new firmware. So, all right. 3 Experience says, I can see how a brim helps adhesion, but how does a skirt help? Also, if using a brim/skirt, is a purge line needed? So, from what I understand, a brim is a skirt that's attached to your print. That's how I've always understood it as. And that will help with adhesion of the part, because it's going to give it more surface area to stick down. A skirt doesn't do anything for adhesion. A skirt is usually, to get an idea, this is how I use a skirt. But a skirt is a number of lines. You can have 1, you can have 10, you can have as many as you want. I usually do like 2 or 3. And what I use that for is I look at that to see where my first layer height is, and if I need to make any adjustments, I do it on the skirt, so that way I'm not adjusting it on the part. In terms of a purge line, I use both. So I use a skirt around all my prints. I think I have a 5mm separation between the print itself and the skirt. And I also have a purge line. So the purge line is part of the Easy ABL starting code. So I use our starting code on all my printers. And that has a purge line. And the purge line is important because it gets your nozzle primed up, because a lot of the times the printer's been sitting, or if you're doing like a small retract at the end of the print, you want to make sure the nozzle's primed up and ready to go. And if I'm using the skirt as the purge line, but I'm also using the skirt as a way to gauge my bed leveling, I might get inaccurate results because the nozzle's not primed. So I recommend using both. So yeah. Yeah. I hope I didn't flip those, but basically the skirt, I believe, is detached from the part. Let me just open S3D and see what they refer to it as. I believe the skirt is the one that's detached. Additions. So they refer to it. Okay, so a skirt is offset from the part. So I am looking at my slicer. So a skirt is when that little, and I'll show you guys here. I'll show you guys my slice here. So this is for the Milwaukee part, or battery mount that I just showed you. So this is what's printing on my Ziltech gear. And if we look here in the additions, I have skirt layers 1. I usually do 1. I have 2 outlines and 5mm offset from the part. So if I hit slice, it'll slice up the files, and then you see there's my skirt. So I use this and look at it and judge my first layer height, and if I need to baby step up or down, I'll do it while it's printing the skirt. Now, if I wanted to have it be a brim, I would go in and tell it I don't want any offset from the part, and you probably want to do more. So if you're using a brim, it's usually to keep the part held down. So let's say these small parts were pulling up from my bed, a brim could help that, and then you just remove it after you're done printing. So now I changed it to a brim, which means there's no offset, and you can see here, it's now just one layer that is touching the part to give it a little more force to hold it down to the build plate. So that's a brim. A brim is where it touches the part, and usually you have multiple brim lines. So I think I told it to do 10. So you can see here, this will give me more forces holding down the part to prevent it from warping, and then you just kind of snap these off and clean them up. I don't know where it is, but I have one in here, usually in my drawer, but apparently I did not put it back. Unless I got put in the wrong drawer. There it is. These guys, we carry these in our store. These are deburring tools. These are awesome. So if you guys are using a brim and you want to take it off, basically you would just peel the brim off and then go around and take the rest off with this. These are awesome for cleaning up your prints. These are like $10 in our shop with the blades. And you can get additional blade packs, and they actually have a storage in the back where you can put more blades. I believe these are an essential tool for printing, because they're very good for cleanup. So yeah, so this is what a brim looks like. It's touching the part. It helps with adhesion because it's giving it more tension to hold it down to the build plate. And then I typically don't use brims. I can't remember the last time I used it, but I'll usually do a skirt, which is offset from the part, and I'll usually do like 2 to 3 outlines. So this is a skirt, so I just change my settings. And you can see here, this just outlines a part. This is also a good idea, especially if you're maxing your bed out. Let's say you were printing all the way out to the edge. You could get an idea of where it's going to end up. Maybe your bed's not perfectly centered, which a lot of printers are not. You can get an idea of where the part's going to go on your bed because it's going to be inside the skirt. So I don't use brims too often. I do use sometimes what are called warping tabs, which is just like a little circle that's like 2 or 3 millimeters tall, and you just kind of shove it into the end of the part. And that's also used for warping, but a brim can do the same thing. So yeah, so skirt is detached, brim is attached. That's a good way to remember it. But yeah, I use skirts on all of ours just because, like I said, it gives me an idea of where the part's going to be and gives me a chance to adjust my first layer, because even on most dialed-in printers, you're always going to have some variance in your first layer height, and that's what the baby stepping feature is. If you're using our firmware, that's available to you. So all right, Vicky says, thanks again for the Halloween gift card. Thanks again for the awesome submission. He said, I ordered the multi-mount for the Ender 5 Plus as per 2 videos. Got the Mosquito Magnum. Ooh, treat yourself. I've had no issues with our Mosquito Magnum. It is a very expensive Hotend, and it's been great. So I've had, knock on wood, no issues with no clogs, no jams. It's just been working. So it's expensive, but it works. So I can't argue. Any other post-stream video advice? On the 5 Plus, I did do the mounting block for mine where I secured everything in the back corner where with a piece of PTFE. I don't know if you did the, if you said you ordered it per the videos, I'm assuming you did a direct drive setup, which is what mine is. That's right there. It's pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, there's really no gotchas. Just take your time, solder your wires, heat shrink them, and just do proper cable management. I use a piece of PTFE from the extruder to a fitting on the mounting plate, and the mounting plate is a part of the multi-mount STL pack. So if you look in there, there's an Ender 5 mounting plate that you can use to secure the filament sensor and take the fitting that was on your stock Hotend and screw it into that part, and it will mount in the rear. I think it's in, I don't know if I put a picture of it in the help center. We have so much documentation, so many guides, it's hard for me to remember it all. And you know, my memory's kind of crap to begin with, I'll just be honest. But I believe we added that into the pack. I'm checking to see if I put it in the help center. I don't know if I did. Let me see. But it should be in the downloads for the multi-mount. So when you purchase the multi-mount, you get our STL pack with it, which we're about to push out a lot of updates to that. Yeah, other files. So it's the Ender 5 Plus DD plate is what it's called. So if you look in there, so this plate uses the 2 stock bolts that mounted the stock extruder up. The filament sensor here, reuse its bolts, and then you put your Hotend PTFE fitting here so you can use the PTFE tube to guide it to the direct drive. This is what I'm using on mine, and I mounted it in the back right corner. So, yeah, it's a little part I designed for my own use, and it's part of the multi-mount kit, so you guys get that STL. All right. Free Experience says he's planning on putting a printer in my empty closet for printing. What kind of smoke detector should I install in there? Bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. A smoke detector would not be terrible either. Personally, I don't know if you have any home automation stuff. Personally, if I was doing that, I'd probably put a Z-Wave one in there. I have Z-Wave smoke detectors and CO2 detectors in the shop, and the reason I say this, you can get like set up like notifications. But if you're not doing like smart home stuff, the Google Nest not thermostats. The Google Nest smoke detectors are what I actually have in the house here. And there is a third-party integration for Home Assistant with them, but even just a cheap one that you can hear is going to be fine. I definitely don't think that'd be a bad idea, especially if you just go pick up a $20 one from, you know, the Home Depot or whatever and put in there. Better safe than sorry, and then make sure you know, have everything updated. So I probably would also put a temperature, like a thermometer in there, just to monitor it in case it gets too hot, because if you want to run it with the door closed, and you know, you're printing PLA, especially if it gets too hot, you can get heat creep. So you might want to look at putting like an exhaust fan in, even if it's just vent. I don't know, kind of if you're in a house or apartment or whatnot, but even just maybe like a vent, or even just like cutting a hole in the door and putting a vent in there, just to let some air in. So, but I've seen people put their printers in there, so with no issues. Max CJ says, can I use a pancake stepper for the Micro Swiss direct drive? I don't believe it's recommended, because the Micro Swiss direct drive is not a geared extruder as far as I remember. It's just it's a dual drive gear, but there's no gearing, so meaning there's not an increase in torque. You can try it. I'm sure there's people using it. I personally wouldn't. I would probably go with something geared. That's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of the Micro Swiss direct drive kits in general. I think they're good quality. They print well, but you typically have to use a standard size stepper because they're not a geared extruder. I think their NG one is the geared one, but their OG one, I would probably stick with a regular size stepper on there just so you have enough torque. You can try it out. You might be fine. But I always err on the side of caution because of the fact that if you don't have enough torque, you're going to lose steps, and you're going to be chasing out print quality issues, and it may not be immediately apparent that, oh, it's because the pancake stepper is not providing enough torque. And the other thing is, if you crank the current up on the motor, because that is a directly driven, like the gears, there's no gearing, the feed gear is right attached to the motor shaft. If you crank the current up too high on the pancake stepper, the pancake steppers tend to run hot. And whereas like with the geared extruders where there's gearing, so it goes from the stepper shaft to a gear and then another gear and then to the feed gears, it insulates it from the motor heating up. The problem I've seen is that if you run a motor that's too hot on these non-geared extruders, the heat transfers into the feed gears and then it deforms your filament. So that's another reason why I probably wouldn't do it. Nigel's asking, why is shipping to Australia so expensive? I don't make up the shipping prices. USPS and UPS do. I literally cannot do anything. When you guys put a address into our website, it goes and sends your address information and our ship from location to the carriers. The carriers send back pricing. So whatever you guys see is within a couple % of what we pay. So yeah. Yeah, sorry we're not Amazon that has multiple distribution centers and, you know, tons of slaves to drive packages to people. We have to rely on other carriers, so they set the prices. And everything's costing more these days. Paul said has the supply chain cleared up enough? Absolutely not, and it's probably going to get worse. There's some stuff going on overseas in China that I've been following, that basically a bunch of chip factories are having issues because a lot of people walked off, but I don't know enough of the details. Enough of the details to comment on that, but I know we have no plans on EasyBoard Pro. That idea is dead. It's not worth the time and R&D costs for us to make a new board until things level out, which I don't know when that's going to be. If you are looking for a decent quality board, one, stay away from Big Tree Tech and FISAC. They're really crappy board companies and they will not stand behind their products. But luckily, if you guys are looking for a decent board, like for a universal board that's, you know, multi-drivers, MKS is my go-to for boards when I need something more than a 4-driver board. MKS is a Chinese company, but they do have decent documentation, and more importantly, they have good quality parts. They aren't as focused on cutting costs as Big Tree Tech is. So that's just my personal recommendation. Matthew Smith says, I have Enterfi Plus and need a new board. Is the dual independent Z-axis control worth it? My understanding is I need a 5-driver board for this. Yes, you do need a 5-driver board. And as someone who has multiple printers with the independent Z-axis control, I don't think it's worth it. I have this, or my 5 Plus here is running in just the 2 Z's off of 1. It doesn't get out of level that often, if ever. It's been a really reliable printer. It's up to you. You know, if you want just a 4-driver board, you can do the 427. If with our LCD kit, you can do our EasyBoard V2 with our LCD kit. If you're going with solutions from us, you're going to need the LCD kit on that board to replace the stock one. Because we do not have firmware out and will not have firmware out to run with a stock screen on, you know, a 427 board or, you know, SKR. So if you want to use an SKR board for some reason, we do have firmware for the Enterfi Plus, for the SKR board, but again, you need our LCD kit for that. Stefan is asking, what extruder install in the King Room KP3S? The answer is, how much work do you want to put into it? Because you can put any extruder on any printer. And I still have my KP3S. That might make another appearance. It's sitting in my garage. I don't know if you guys saw it when I was in the garage earlier. It's sitting on the workbench, and it's like halfway through an upgrade on the fans and stuff, and then I got sidetracked. But, you know, if you can find a mount for like a geared extruder, like our Tough Extruder V2, I would definitely go with a geared extruder and do a direct drive setup with a pancake stepper on there. That's a nice little printer. Julio Reyes, do you have any documentation on running 2 Easy Neo strips together on one board? I want to do one on each side of my Enterfi Plus. So I have one on each side of my Enterfi Plus. All you have to do is just connect the wires in parallel. So on the Easy Neos, you have a red, a white, and a black. You just, basically, if you want to use existing cables, you would just cut them and splice them together and then plug them into the control board. There's no firmware changes. The only thing I will say is I had to route my wires for the Easy Neos on the front of the printer. So on the back of the Ender 5, all the stuff comes up, all your heater lines, your motors and everything. And when I routed them up that way, the motors and the heaters were causing interference, and the lights were not lighting up correctly. Like we'd have mismatched colors, or they just wouldn't respond. I had to route them out the front of the control box and then up. And I have two parallel. So if I actually, I can pull, I think I can pull this up here. But yeah, so with the EasyNeo strips, you can wire them in parallel. If you're using the EasyBoard V1 with the separate adapter, it will support 2 strips, no problem. If you're running our EasyBoard V2 as well, it'll run 2 strips, no problem. If you're using like a step down, make sure it can handle up to 2 amps, because the max draw at full brightness, all channels set to full, which will be like white color, it's going to pull some current. So let me see here. So here, so there's one here. Let me move it. There's another here. And if I turn this on, you'll see them come on. So let me turn that on. You'll see them cycle. So the easy plug turned on. There we go. So yeah, I just mounted them on the left and right between the two. You can see the two rod holders. And that's how I did. Now, the only thing is, on the first couple layers, like here, I'll home X and Y here, and I'll home Z. I am going to preheat my nozzle because there's probably some shmoo on there, and I don't want it crashing. This has got a 0.6 in it, so I'm going to heat that up for a sec. But the lights do get kind of blocked on the first like layer or two. Because you can see, but it does provide a decent amount of light. Let me see, like I pull one of my time lapses here. So here's one of the Ender 7 LCD parts. So you can see there, that's at night. So right here is with the lights off in the room. Still plenty of light. And this is our Easy Cam. So I saw somebody asking about a webcam for Octoprint. This is what I'm using on my printer here. You can see there, it's a nice wide angle. This is mounted right at the corner of the printer. And what you'll get with our EasyCam that you won't get with most webcams is a nice wide field of view. And it also has a manual focus adjustment. So you don't have to be fighting with the autofocus on the camera trying to focus all the time. And it basically is unusable. So, but let me go ahead and shut that off because I don't need to run a print right now. But yeah, just connect them in parallel. NeoPixels in general are very sensitive to interference on the signal line. So if you guys are doing like, I ran into this a couple times with like some of the home automation stuff where I had to move lines around or even increase the gauge of the wire that was carrying the signal to like a thicker gauge wire. I have noticed that using a thicker gauge wire for the signal wire helps it get the signal through better. But if you're getting like where it's, you tell it to go all white and it's like a couple of the pixels don't change, it's probably because you're getting interference. You got to be careful with that. And just route it away from any AC lines and, any motor lines, that kind of stuff. So, all right. Juliet Charlie Michael, or Charlie Mike, says, when living my bed using BL Touch, my mesh has values around -8 millimeter. Is that normal? I'm not sure because we don't use BL Touches here. Any BL Touch users want to chime in here? I have no idea what an average offset is for a BL Touch because we do not use them. Nemo Griff, did I get another Tina 2 or is the box for the one you shut off? No, that is a brand new Tina 2. I'm not going to do a dedicated video on that, but I am going to upgrade that and give it to my mother so she can play with it. CRS1 says, SVO6 thoughts. I know that Soval came out with the SVO6. I mean, let me pull it up here. I don't have it. I still have their SVO1 Pro that we bought. It's still sitting in the box, so that should be another stream. Let's see. Let's look at what they're doing. So Soval in general, I've been pretty happy with. So it looks like they're going after a Prusa. They're basically making a Prusa knockoff here. It's like a Prusa and Ender 3 had a baby. I'd probably buy it, to be honest. Like, looking at it, we got no touchscreen, so we're already off to a good start. It looks nice. I don't mind the Prusa style i3 with these rods. My AM8 has that and it actually prints really well, and it's got the linear rods. I'd buy it. You know, that's just me looking at the pictures. Like, it looks nice. Solval in general has a good track record of, you know, actually not being like Creality and ignoring their customers. And it looks like they were smart. They actually have an inductive probe on here, which is the same kind of like style as our Easy ABLs, but these only work on metal. But I'll take that over a BL Touch any day. Yeah, you can see there's a little inductive sensor here. So, and it says 32-bit mainboard. It looks like they are rebranding. This looks like it might be, it's very Creality-esque with the part selection. I don't know if they changed. I am curious. If I already have 3 printers sitting in the boxes, I'd be interested to take a look at it. So, if you're watching, if you want to send one, I'll do a video on it. But I can't justify buying it right now. I told myself I'm not going to buy any more printers until I get through the other ones that are there. So, yeah, I mean, for the price, I would do it. I see someone asking about the G-Tech 820. The G-Tech 820 is a piece of crap, and so is G-Tech as a company. They actually knocked off one of Chep's products, so they're now on the blacklist. They also don't comply with the GPL, so G-Tech makes crap. They were okay back before we had more options, but I don't think I have any G-Tech printers here. I have given them all away or parted them out. There's a lot better other options out there. I see someone asking about Clipper. My recommendation is Clipper is for somebody that doesn't use a printer as a tool. The printer is a hobby. If you want to spend 8 to 10 hours tuning your printer and trying to figure things out, go ahead and play with Clipper. If you actually want to use your printer and want it to work and be reliable, then stick with Marlin. And the same person asked about the best for run on the longer LK5 outside of the stock one. I'm not sure because I don't have that machine, but I heard their stuff is pretty good. I haven't heard any bad things about longer. Have you guys? Someone asked about homemade PET. Yeah, that's not something I would mess with. There's so many different things. Certain stuff is just not worth messing with. Max CJ, next printer build after the Ender 7 poll question mark? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a poll real quick. Let me put that together. So I have, well, I'm not going to do another one on the Tina 2. That'll be kind of a, I'm just going to pop the stream on and we're all going to hang out and shoot the shit kind of stream. I do really like that printer. It's actually a really nice printer for beginners. Like I was very pleasantly surprised about it, and the company was very responsive. They offered to send me out a new coupler, and their support and their reviews seem to reflect that they do actually support their customers. So if you guys are looking for something cheap that's good to give to somebody, no heated bed, it's just PLA, you know, for beginners, I think it's a really good machine to get people's foot in the door. You know, there's obviously other printers that have more features for about the same price, but it does work. The software works, the firmware works, they're GPL compliant. It's a good beginner printer. So, and I'm not being paid to say that. I like it so much, I literally bought another one. They sent us one, I bought another one because I'm giving it to my mother, because I think it'd be good to get her started. All right, so let me do voting on what printer is next for a live stream. Okay, so I've got the Solval SV01 Pro. I've got the Voxelab Aquila X2, so the newer version. And then I have the Sunlu S8 Pro. Personally, I kind of want to do the Aquila X2 because I've had it for so long. We're going to set a timer for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to let you guys vote. So go ahead and start the voting. So to vote, you do exclamation point vote, followed by the ID of the option. So if you want to vote for the SV01 Pro, you do exclamation point vote space 0. If you want to vote for the Aquila X2, you do exclamation point vote space 1. If you want to vote for the S8 Pro, you do exclamation point vote space 2. And the bot's going to total this up. So what are you guys up to? Anybody printed any cool projects? What was the latest upgrade you did on your printers? Projects and upgrades. What have you guys been doing for projects and upgrades? Because I know you guys are printing stuff, and I know you guys are upgrading your printers. So everybody should be able to pop in chat and let me know what you're doing. Maybe there's some ideas that that would pique my interest. Man, this, I don't know if this is Aldi's brand. I said Aldi's. I hate when people say Aldi's. Aldi. But this stuff is really good. You guys ever have this? I don't know if they sell it other places, but probably my favorite hard root beer. Let me see. Blasta said I printed a Phillips Hue switch plate cover thing to go over the light switch. Okay. Like the ones that lock it. I have one of those on my bathroom because I have 2 wall sconces on the side of the tub in the master bath, and I have smart lights in there. So, yes. Oh, the root beer? I offered it. I buy it for myself, but I also keep it here because I know that's like the one alcoholic beverage my mother will drink is the hard root beers, and they're good. I really enjoy them. Neil Griff said, I got the Flash Forge burnt titanium shut up. I'm getting lots of string from it. Interesting. Ours printed great. So, but that's the thing. See, that's the thing. There's a lot of these companies that are, you know, Chinese companies, and like the problem I have with a lot of these Chinese filament manufacturers is not like them being super cheap or being super expensive, is the consistency. Is like you can get, you know, I can order a roll now and it'll print great. And then 6 months from now, I'll be like, oh, I really like this color. I'm going to buy the same one. And then the quality is different. Like, that's the thing that bothers me. So, yeah. But, you know, try drying it out. If you guys, I actually moved my filament dryer, aka a food dehydrator, into my office the other day. Because I'm going to be screwing around with some nylon and stuff. And I screwed up my testing video. I got to restart it. But I have been using the S8, or not the S8, the Sunlu Fila Dryer thing, the version 2 on my Ender 6, and I have seen print quality improvement with even ABS. So I think we're going to look at carrying that. I will say the humidity sensor inside of it is not accurate whatsoever, but it does do a good job at drying out the filament, and I did see a actual improvement with the print quality, just like smoother print quality in general. So I think we're going to look at carrying that. How many of you guys would be interested in picking something up like that? I like that I can literally feed the filament right out of it. So, and I have, you probably can't see it because it's blue. I have a little cutoff of PTFE going between the extruder and the box, so it's as encased as possible to keep moisture from getting in there. I don't know where Remo is. I'm assuming Krista is watching the stream. I know Remo is outside, but I think she let him in. I don't know where his stupid butt is. All right. Let's see. So it looks like the poll concluded, and the Soval SV01 Pro will be the next one. So, all right. We'll do the SV01 Pro. I don't know when. Maybe towards the end of the week, because I want to do this tomorrow, the Ender 7 I'm pointing at right now. It really depends. I get kind of burnt out towards the end of the week, and I've been trying to take some time to myself once in a while. Matthew Smith, what are the biggest issues with the BL Touch? So we have a competing product called the Easy ABL. I do think that the Easy ABL is better than the BL Touch, which is why we don't sell the BL Touch. I could become a distributor for the BL Touch tomorrow if we wanted to, but I don't want to because I do believe that our Easy ABL is better. And the biggest issues I think with the BL Touch are, one, they have the plastic pin. It gets bent easily. It can throw off your accuracy. If you have a print failure, the probe is all flimsy plastic, so it's easy to get damaged. My number one thing that I don't like about it is the fact that they give you really crappy, really thin wire, and it picks up a ton of interference, which reflects poorly in the probe's accuracy. So basically, it's just built really cheap, and the wires they give you, again, are really cheap and prone to picking up interference, which is actually a detriment to their product, because if they included better wire, it would run better. It would be more accurate. People would have less issues. The other thing, too, is I think it's harder to hook up because you have to supply it with 5-volt ground for power, which is off your control board. So it's pulling power from your rail on your control board that's running your processor. So if there's an issue with the BL Touch, or Sierra Touch this applies to as well, or any BL Touch clones, if that shorts out, it can potentially kill your board very easily. Our Easy ABL runs off its own power. And the other thing I don't like is that it's it's got physical parts. It physically moves, so things are going to wear out. You know, they do work. It's just there's more variances for things to go wrong. They're not as durable. They're more complicated to hook up because you have the 5-volt ground, and then you have the control wire, and they also have another ground and the signal wire. So you have 5 wires to hook up to your control board with the BL Touch. Or EasyABL, you give it 2 wires for power from your power supply to power it, and you give it 2 wires to your ZN sub on your control board. That's it. You know, our control board on our EasyABL is designed so well and electrically isolated so well that you could literally send 220 volts into the power input, completely fry our EasyABL kit, and your control board will be untouched because we have the power side of our board isolated from the control side that goes to your control board. So in the event that if our probe decides to, I'm just going to short myself out, it'll kill itself and kill the board, but like the control board, the EasyABL control board, but it won't touch your printer's board. So, you know, there's multiple ways to skin a cat, as they say. But yeah, my main thing is the crappy wires, and it's physical. I've had a lot of rattling with the CR Touch, the BL Touch. It drives me insane. Those are like, if like my main complaint is the moving parts. The moving parts are, you know, another big point of failure. Michael Curry said, I noticed my Sunloop S8 bed was warped different on the EasyABL. What causes it, and can the bed be straightened? Just crappy, low quality Chinese aluminum beds. You know, you get what you pay for. If it's really bad, I would contact them to see if you can get a different bed. Otherwise, you know, do what everybody else does, which is use auto bed leveling and, you know, make the best of it. I have never tried to straighten out a board because the heaters are integrated into the actual aluminum beds. You're probably going to damage the heater by trying to straighten it out. Have I looked at the Soval SV05? I have not. Manish Ways, what's a good Octoprint alternative? I don't know because I literally only use Octoprint here. And if you guys are having trouble getting Raspberry Pis, don't feel bad. We are too. That's why we've been out of stock on our Octoprint kits for a while. Theory Experience asks, just curious, why are the power leads for the EasyABL control board solid core wires? Because they're easier to work with. There's also less chances of people having stray wires versus stranded. Personally, I like using the solid core wires. And that's intentional. We only use solid core wires for the power wire. So the sensor itself has stranded wires. It's a shielded, reinforced cable. But the power wires to go from your printer power supply to the EasyABL control board that we give you guys are solid core because it's just easier to work with. You're not having to worry about twisting them. You can't have any risks of having wires that are stray. You know, it's just easier to work with. Also, if you're trying to, like, you know, make the wire stay out of in a certain area of the control box, you can just bend it into place and it stays there. You know, stranded isn't as rigid. So you can use whatever you want for the power wire. It literally pulls like 0.05 amps, so it's you know, fuck all. But yeah, we use solid core because it's just easier. There's less room for user error. It's easier to work with. It's easier to get into the terminals. This will be the last question. Joe said he got to use full graphic 128/64. It long beeps until the firmware boots anyways to silence it. It doesn't have anywhere plugged into. Sadly, the reason it's doing that is basically that pin on whatever board you're using. The pin kind of floats until the firmware comes on and either pulls it high or low. The easiest way to silence it or make it quieter is just put a piece of tape over it or desolder the beeper from there. So, I guess Krista's not watching. Oh, I forgot her friend Josh is over. I'm gonna go get, I guess since we don't have Remo here, I'm gonna go open the door. He might be outside, but I think he's in the house. I'm looking at the cameras here. We'll find out. I'm gonna go get the doggos so we can give them their treats. I'll be right back. What? boy, we got your puppy. Your puppy's gonna get a treat too. Yeah? Do we want treats? Come here, boys. Come here, boys. Come here. Oh, yes, we gotta give you guys treats. Give you treats. Can we sit? Can we sit? Shake. Sit. Speak. Good boy. Come. Come here. Come here. Oh. And here's the baby. We're not going to make him do anything. He just gets a treat because he looks cute and he chews on it and you guys get to see the puppy. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It was actually pretty fun. So got some sleep. He's actually sleeping most of the night. And I think I'm just adjusted to getting up and letting him out. Chris and I have been tag teaming it. So anyways, I will see you guys later. Say hi to Comet. Hope you guys liked the little baby. I will talk to you guys later. And as always, happy printing. Thanks for stopping by. And I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will see you on the next one.